Namaste students, myself Sunil Kumar from the Department of Computer Science. Today we are moving to the next session based on the chapter Problem Solving Methodology. This is the first music topics, problem solving methodology. In that we are going to discuss today mainly about the four constructs. That means last class, in previous classes we mainly discussed about the programming constructs. What is the programming construct? How to write the program statements. How to write the program statements, that is actually known as programming construct. There are mainly three types of programming constructs that are available. One is sequential, one more is selection, and last one is iterative statements. Sequential we finished, and also we finished with the selection construct. Selection we finished with the simple if else ladder, or if else if, nested if, and switch. These we finished along with the selection construct. After that we started with the iterative construct. Iterative construct we mainly finished while and do while. While and do while, two looping construct or programming construct we finished. While means first control is checked. First control is checked. If the control, or you can say first condition is tested. If the condition is true, then program is going to execute, or then body of the loop or statements are going to execute. That is in case of while. That is entry control loop, or we can say that is a pre-tested looping structure. Before entering inside, if the control wants to enter inside the looping, first condition should be satisfied. If the condition is satisfied, then control can get inside, then possible to execute. Then after that, one more we discussed, that is a do-while looping structure. In case of do-while looping structure, first program segments are executed, or we can say that first the statements are going to execute. After executing the program statements or statements, then later on going to check the test condition. If the test condition is true, once again the programming statements are going to repeat. So this will be repeated until the test condition became false. The main difference between the while and do while, that is very important. While first test condition is tested, in case of while test condition is tested, then it is execute the programming statements or statements are executed. Then after executing the statement, once again test condition that will be repeated. But in case of do while, first statements are going to execute, later on is going to check the test condition. First programming statements are going to execute, later is going to execute the test condition. That is the main difference between the while and do while. So we finished with the conditional construct. Now on today's session, we are mainly going to discuss about unconditional looping. Unconditional looping structure, that is for construct. For is the while, do while is over, next one is the for. The for, remember, this topic is very much important for the first PhD, or we can say the programming language. Almost all the programs, normally we write any programs, all the programs are based on these concepts. Because for loop is very much important, or for loop or for construct. Should understand this one thoroughly, because all the programs or many programs we are using this programming or this program construct. So if you take the programming construct for program construct, remember there is a fixed execution structure. This is fixed execution. If you know how many times you want to execute some statements, already if you know before, if you know how many times that want to repeat it, then we can use the fixed looping structure, or we can use the for loop. If you want to repeat one statement 10 times, already we know we have to repeat the 10 times. Or already if you want to repeat one statement 20 times. So means previous only, before execution of the program, we already know that how many times we have to repeat the particular statements. Whenever if you know the number of times to be repeated, then it is better to use a for loop. If you use a for loop, it will repeat only this much time. So you can say 1 to 50. Means 1 to 50 means it uses 1 to or 50 times it will repeat it. The repeated number of times will be counted by using the one control variable. How many times the loop should be repeated? For example, if you write 20 times or 30 times, one counter is required. 1 time, 2 times, 3 times, 4 times. So first time 1, the second time counter should be 2, next time counter should be 3. So one counter variable is required. Normally we say the counter variable, or we can say the control variable. One control variable is required. That control variable will changes each time. 50 times means that will control 50 times. Means 50 times that will be incremented, or whatever it is, options are done, then going to execute the statements. That is in case of for loop. The for loop is fixed execution structure. Fixed means how many times if you want to repeat, 10 times means 10 times, 20 times means 20 times, the particular looping statements are going to repeat. After repeating that one, here mainly we are using one control variable, that is also as a counter variable. Sometimes we know that a counter variable, or also we can say that is control variables. Control variable or counter variable that will count the number of times. If normally this is a counter variable. If you want to repeat the statement 20 times, the 20 times should count. Should count the 20 times, otherwise you will count. The counter variable or control variable. Control variable or counter variable. That should be counted or control the number of times. That is in case of 4. I think you understood the concept. Then we will move to the general format. If you are going to write the general format, the first we have to write is 4. 4. After 4, the first one is the 3 operations are there. Mainly we have performed 3 operations. I write the 3 operations. The first one is initialization. First operation is initialization. After that, semicolon, remember, column. Next one is next condition. I write the condition. After that, second one is condition. After the condition, next is semicolon, either increment or decrement. You can perform any operation. Either you can perform increment or you can perform the decrement. So this is the operation you have to perform in case of 4 statement or 4 loop. Then after that, normally we use open flower bracket. That is, if you want, you can use. Or we can use the statements. The statements one, right? Statement 1, statement 2, next statement. Yeah, we don't want the total number of statements. So statement 1. Then we can write N4. So this is a general format. Here you can see the general format. In that general format, first for initialization. First you have to initialize the values. First you have to initialization and see what is initialization. Then next one is given as condition. Next increment or decrement. Then the statements. So what is the initialization? First step. First word is here. First we are seeing one word, that is initialization. What is the initialization? Giving the initial values. That is known as initialization. I'll assign I is equal to 0. One value to assign Y. First value, we have to assign one first value. Or we can say, if you want to repeat the loop 20 times, if you want to repeat the loop 20 times. So 1 to 20 or 0 to 19. Like that you have to give the values. 1 to 20 we should give. So initial value will be the 1, then final value will be the 20. So like that we have to repeat. So how many times should we repeat? The first value or initial value is given to the variable. One value we should give. That is actually known as initialization. After next term is the condition. You already know what is the condition. So checking the value whether correct or not, comparing the values, anything can be performed. That is condition. After that, next increment or decrement. One more term, increment or decrement. What is increment and what is a decrement? Increment means value is incremented by 1. Incremented means adding one value, one number to the same number. For example, n is equal to 10. Next n should be 11, right? Next 12. Adding one value, one value to the same number. So n value for statement, next should be 11. So adding 1. Adding 1 to the same value. Adding 1 to the same value. That is actually known as increment. And one more thing, minus or subtracting. Subtracting 1 from same value. Subtracting each time or subtracting 1 from the same value. That is actually known as decrement. Increment and decrement. Adding one number, that is incrementing. Subtracting one number, that is known as decrement. That is it. Then it is the statements. Then it is the statements. But how this for loop is going to execute? How this for loop is going to execute? When you refer to the for loop, the first I'll draw the mark. The first control is going to initialize. First control is going to initialize. First initial value will be given. First initial value will be given for the variables. After that, next is going to check the condition. Next control is moving to check the condition, whether condition is true or false. After checking the condition, we will get the true output, either true or false. Only true, or already we know that we will get only true output, either true or false. Whenever the condition is true, then control is going to execute the statements. All the statements are executed. We don't know what is the total number of statements. That's why I want to get n statements. We don't know what is the total number of statements. All the statements are executed. All the statements are executed. After executing the statement, see properly here. Next, control move to increment or decrement. Remember, after that, control moves to increment decrement in the counter variable, counting variable. After increment, we can give anything, either increment or decrement based on the program. After incrementing the counter variable, once again control is moving to check the condition. Because see, initialization is done only once. Initialization is done only once. After that test condition, then statements, then increment or decrement. After that, once again the control is moved to check the condition. After that, control is once again moving to check the condition. If the condition is true, once again what if the loop will be executed? Once again the what if the loop will be executed. This is true means once again statements are executed. After executing the statement, once again increment or decrement, control moves to increment or decrement in the value. After increment or decrement in the value, next once again condition is tested. So this will be repeated. This will be repeated until the test condition becomes false. Whenever this condition is false, we get one more output. Whenever condition is false means I'll get the false here. Whenever the condition is false, control is moved out from the looping. Control is moving out from the looping structure. This is a working of for loop. Remember, this is very important. For loop is very much important for almost all the program. So first, remember here initialization, first part, that is done only once. In case of for loop, initialization happens only once. After initialization means giving the first values, giving the first value or initial value is known as initialization. That will be happen only once. After that, control is moving to check the condition. After that, control is moving to check the condition. After checking the condition, next you can see here statements. After checking the condition, we will get the true output, either true or false. Whenever condition is true, then statements are going to be statement 1 to statement n is going to execute. After executing the statement 1 or n, next you can go move to the increment or decrement. Next option is given that increment or decrement. We will get the output or increment or decrement, anything will be there. After increment or decrement, next control wants to check the condition once again. After checking the condition, if it is true, then body of the loop or the statements are going to execute. And this will be repeated. And this will be repeated until the test condition becomes false. Whenever the test condition false is, control, you can see here, control is moving out from the looping structure. This is about the, what you can say, for loop general format. Then we will see the flow chart for the for loop. How you can write the flow chart? If you want to write the flow chart, remember, the first here control, we should write like this. Then after that, one more special symbol we are using here. I already told this is the one special symbol that is used in case of for loop. The special symbol that is mainly used in case of for loop. Now we can write for control variable. See, we means control variable. That is from initial variable, that was initial value to final value. Initial value to final value. CV means control variable from starting from initial value. For example, 20 times means for if you want to repeat the loop 20 times. So what is initial value? Initial value is 1, final value is 20. So if you want to repeat the loop 20 times or 30 times, 30 times means initial value is 1, then final value will be 30. If you want to repeat the loop 5 times, if you want to repeat the loop 5 times means initial value is 0 or 1, then final value will be the 5. So that will be the initial value to final value of repeat. After that we have to execute the statements. After that we have to execute the statements. So I write statement 1. Statement 1. So like that I write only one statement. Right? Statement n. First statement to n statement. After that, once inside the circle, I use control variable. We don't know what the control variable. Whenever control variable is inside the final value, whenever the control variable is inside the final value, then it is going to connect that. So I'll say like that. So whenever is value inside the final value, it will once again going to repeat, otherwise it will move on from the looping. Otherwise, a control variable or you can say control is going to move out from the looping. So you can see here the first program starts here, or you can say it's going to start here. Then for control variable is equal to initial variable to final variable. Final value, initial value to the final value. We don't know what is the initial value or what is the final value for, because for loop is mainly used for fixed looping structure. If you already know the starting value and initial value, which is initial value and final value, if you already know means, then we can use it for loop. So we already know the initial value and final value. After that, next statements are going to execute. Then statement execute for initial value, statements are executed, incremented, next second value, third value means fixed number of times. Fixed number of times the loop is going to execute. Loop is going to execute, that is about the for loop. Then we'll take one example. How you can write the example for this one? So example is writing easy in case of for loop. The first you can write for, I'll write here for. First one is initialization. First part we can write that initialization. First part initialization, I write here for. First part is initialization. So I will give the value of I is equal to 0. I value will be 0 or I value will be 1. Just better to give 1 here. 1. Then initialization is done because initial value is 1. So how many times should repeat? 5 times. How many times the particular loop should be finished? Repeat 5 times means I less than or equal to 5 times or 5. I less than or equal to 5. I less than or equal to 5 means it will repeat 5 times. 1 to 5. Initial value is 1, final value is 5. Then next one is increment. So increment you can write I plus plus. This we are going to study later. What is I plus plus and I minus minus. Plus plus is one operation in case of C++ programming, that is known as increment. Plus plus, 2 plus if you write together like this. This operation is known as, this symbol is known as, that is increment operator in case of C++ programming. Increment operator is mainly used to increment one value. Increment by one number. Normally I plus plus means I is 1 means I plus plus will be 2. Next I plus plus will be 3. I plus plus means increment by 1. If you want to increment by 1, then we have the increment operator. Then after that I will write here print I. What is the value of I we don't know, so that will be printed. That will be printed. This is a simple program. There is no multiple lines also. I just printed as 1. So how it will be working? The first. What is the first step? What is the first step here? First control is going to initialize the values. First control is going to initialize the value. I is equal to 1. So I value is equal to 1. Next, after that, what is the next step? Control is going to test the condition. Control is going to check the condition. I less than or equal to 5. I means 1. Less than or equal to 5. Condition is true or false. You can listen. I less than or equal to 5. Sir. Correct. I less than 5. Where I less than 5 means condition is true. If the condition is true means execute the statement. Print I. What is the value of I? 1 is going to print. Next, then after that going to repeat. After that going to increment. So I plus plus. What is I plus plus means? I plus plus means the same value is incremented by 1. The same value is incremented by 1. So I value is incremented by 1 means 2. I is equal to I plus 1. That is incremented by 1. So I value will be the 2. When your I value is 2, then after that I less than or equal to 5 means check the value. I is 2. 2 is less than or equal to 5. Condition is true. When your condition is true means print I. Statements are executed, so 2 will be printed. Next after that I plus plus. I plus plus means I value now it will be 3. Next after increment once again arrow is given here. So it will be checking the condition whether 3 less than or equal to 5. Condition is true. When our condition is true means you are going to execute the 3 value 3. After executing 3, once again going back I plus plus. I plus plus. So I value now it will be 4. I value now it will be 4. When our I value is 4, then check the condition. 4 less than or equal to 5. 4 less than or equal to 5. Correct. 4 is less than or equal to 5. Less than. Correct condition is satisfied. So 4 is going to print it. print 4. Then after that, increment I is equal to I plus plus. So incrementing I is equal to 5. When I is equal to 5, then once again compare 5. 5 less than or equal to 5? Yes, because less than means 5 is not less than 5, but 5 is equal to 5. Less than or equal to. Two conditions are there. Either less than or equal to 5. So two conditions are there. Means so less than or equal to 5. So condition is satisfied. Then print I. So I value 5 is printed. What is the value? We don't know. So I value 5 is printed. After printing 5, next I plus plus. Next I plus plus. So I value now will be 6. I value now it will be 6. Whenever I value is 6, then 6 is less than or equal to 5. 6 is less than or equal to 5? No. 6 is not less than 5 or 6 is not equal to 5. Both the conditions are not satisfied. So when our condition is not satisfied, control is going to move out from the loop. So condition is not satisfied. When our condition is not satisfied, control is moving out from the looping structure. This is the working of for loop. See here, mainly what we discussed here means is a for loop. Remember, the for loop or for construct is very much important topic in case of programming language. Here how it is working. Once again, if you want to explain, here first for initialization. First initial value should be given. Initial value is first value to any variable. First value, here mainly is the counter variable here. That first value should be given. After that, check the condition. After that, check the condition whether the condition is true or false. After checking the condition, we will get the output as true or false. Only two output will be there. Either condition may be true or condition may be false. Whenever condition is true means statements are going to execute. Statements are going to execute. After executing the statements, then it is going to increment or decrement. The variable is going to increment or decrement. Increment means adding one or adding on for the same variable, that is increment. Decrement means subtracting one number from the same number, that is known as decrement. That is happens. After increment or decrement, the next step should be the condition. Once again, we will check the condition. After checking the condition, whether condition is true, once again statements are going to execute. And this will be repeated. This will be repeated until the next condition becomes false or condition becomes false. Whenever condition is false means control is moving out from the looping structure. Control is moving out from the looping structure. Remember here, initialization is done only once. Only once initialization is done. Remaining everything will be repeated again and again. After that, we discuss with the one flow chart. Is a flow chart. Here special symbol is used. That is for control variable is equal to initial value to final value. Because if we use the for, that is a fixed execution structure. For loop is fixed execution structure. So program will be started. We know already before starting the program only. We already know that how many times the program should be repeated. Here only we know 0, 1 to 5. So 5 times it will be repeated. If you read the programming also, you should know how many times if you want to repeat the program or repeat the statement. If you already know that one, then it's a fixed. Then it is a for loop. So for loop, we already know that from starting initial value to final value. Starting from initial value to final value, we can repeat. Then statements are repeated until the control variable satisfies the final value. Until the control variable satisfies the final value. Then this is a flow chart. And the example here, when I is the control variable. Remember, I is the control variable here. I value first case 1, second case 2, third case 3, next 4, 5. So like that, I value is incrementing. So I value, we already know the 5 times should repeat. So like that, we will repeat 5 times and we'll get the output. So based on that, I'll give you some worksheet, work out that one. Today, now here we reach the end of session today. In this session, we mainly discussed about the for construct. For construct, remember, is a very important. We will be getting the 5 mark questions based on this for construct. It is a very much important topic for programming. If you study not only C++, if you are going to study any other programming language, the basic concept of the for loop will be the same. And based on this one, I will give the worksheet, work out that one, understand thoroughly and study this concept thoroughly. So by here, I will wind up my today's session. Thank you.